Casey, and today I am here to do a Doctor Who themed video. So at the beginning of the year when I was asking for video ideas, a lot of you requested that I do a lot more fandom videos, and I am more than happy to oblige. So today I am going to be talking about some Doctor Who stuff. Namely, I'm going to be talking about Doctor Who companions, I'm going to be ranking them. Let's get started. But beyond that, I also wanted to talk about what makes a Doctor Who companion, because this was a thing that I had to start considering when I made my list. I asked Twitter, and I've come up with just like a rough kind of definition that I'm gonna kind of go with. Originally, when I made my list, I did not include River, Jack, or Mickey, because I had not considered them official companions, but through asking around on Twitter, a lot of people did, so I'm going to include them as well. They're people who traveled with the Doctor for an extended period of time, so I'm gonna count them. But also, this is only going to be companions of New Who Doctors. That's starting from the 9th Doctor and going through the 12th Doctor. Those are the only companions I'll be talking about because I don't really watch that much classic Who and haven't, so I have really no authority on those companions. So I think that that's everything I want to get into. We're gonna start by talking about my least favorite companion, and then we're gonna work up to my absolute favorite companion. So now we can actually get started. Sorry, everything just moved, my lighting changed. Here we are. So coming in at the bottom of the list, the companion that I like least of all of the New Who companions, we have Clara Oswald. I liked Clara a bit initially when she showed up with the 11th Doctor. I thought she could be interesting, but over time I felt like her continued existence was just dragging the show down in a lot of ways. That's not 100% her fault. I haven't really liked the last couple of seasons of Doctor Who. It's been a mix of a bunch of different reasons, but namely, I felt like Clara as a companion has grown less and less interesting. With more recent seasons of Doctor Who, it's all become about how the Doctor can solve the companion instead of just having a person that he really likes to travel with. Obviously, he's liked the companions he's had, but it's felt more like they're there to be a mystery to solve, and that's what Clara was to me. And she just became less interesting as she went along. I think that if she had left a little bit earlier in the show, then it would have made more sense. I think a season earlier, having her exit would have been really great. It would have capped off her arc in a way that made sense. Sadly, I think that she stuck around too long, and overall, I think Clara's extremely boring, and so she is my least favorite. Moving on to the next person, we have Martha Jones. Oh, Martha. How I wish I could love Martha more. So, my issues with Martha are, first of all, that she was what I consider sort of my rebound companion. The first time I watched Doctor Who, it was starting with the 9th Doctor and watching with Rose Tyler. My love, Rose. And it was just really hard to jump from Rose to a new companion. So some of this is not Martha's fault. Some of it is just me being supremely unable to get over Rose Tyler. But also with Martha, I think that she has some of the weaker episodes, and I get frustrated by the fact that she spends a lot of the season in love with the Doctor. I get frustrated a lot by the fact that every woman who meets him is supposed to fall in love with him. But also in general, I just don't love Martha as a character a lot. I think that so much of her season is spent loving the Doctor in ways that I find frustrating, and I really love her exit. I think that her exit from the show in season 3 is fantastic, and it really makes me like her character a lot more than I had up to that point. Plus, she has one of my favorite episodes, Blink. But sadly, her arc and her character just never really endeared themselves to me. Even upon rewatches, I found myself not really getting more passionate, but also not less passionate. She just sort of exists, and I enjoy some of her episodes, but watching her season isn't my favorite. So that is why Martha finds herself in this place of the list. Going up to number 6, we have Mickey Smith. Like I said, I originally didn't count Mickey on this list, and actually a lot of people on Twitter, though they wanted me to include Jack Harkness and River Song, a lot of them felt that Mickey didn't really deserve a place on this list, but for now, I've given him a spot, and this is where I would place him. I think he has a fairly interesting arc. I think that he's not the best character. When you first meet him in season 1, you kind of get annoyed with Mickey, but I really love how his character develops over the next couple of seasons, and the ways that we get to see him pop up every now and then. His arc in season 2 is fabulous, I love it, and I love the ways he reappears in season 4 with, some of my favorite episodes. Mickey is just sort of, for me, take him or leave him. I like his arc a lot, but I'm not that passionate about him, so while he has great moments, I don't adore Mickey. Weirdly, I feel like that's also how Rose feels a lot of the time. Next up at number 5, we have River Song. How do we even begin to explain how I feel about River Song? I think she has a super interesting arc in general. I love her relationship with the Doctor. It's one of my favorites. I love how strong and sassy she can be, but also those moments where she shows a lot of weakness makes her such a fascinating character to me, especially like at the end of Rory and Amy's arc. I love her moments there and how much love that she has for them. I love her first couple of episodes in season 4 with the 10th Doctor. It was such a great introduction to the character, which I think is a large reason that I continue to like her going forward, is because she has one of the best character intros that I've seen in television. You have less than 2 hours to fall in love with her, and you do, and I still cry every single time. I'm a little annoyed with where we ended with River Song last year in the Christmas special, but overall I think that she is a fabulous character. Every time she would show back up again, I would cheer. I do really love River. Coming in at number 4, we got Jack Harkness. It was so hard to try to determine if I was going to put Jack Harkness here because I have the entirety of Torchwood to work with too, and it was hard to try to turn that off in my head and just focus on how I feel about him as a companion in Doctor Who. But I really think that I would limit it to number 4. That's where I would put Jack. But if you watch Torchwood, man, I grew to love Jack Harkness even more than I possibly thought I could. I loved the introduction of Jack Harkness as a person who is just this pansexual being, and I love that. He is so funny. I love how he interacts with different Doctors. His interactions between him and 10 versus him and 9. Fabulous. I love his relationship with Rose and the relationship that he has with all of the other characters, especially with Mickey. We get so little time with Jack, Rose, 9, and Mickey, but they are my favorite TARDIS team. I adore them, and so I love the way that Jack holds that group together. If I had like one wish for Doctor Who at this point, it would be the return of Jack Harkness, because I love him with all of my heart. At number 3, we have got Donna Noble. Oh my god, it was hard to determine where to put Donna because I love so much about Donna. In my opinion, she has the saddest ending of all of the companions. Nothing makes me sadder than Donna. But what I loved about Donna is that she brought something to Doctor Who that I was missing, and that was she was a woman who didn't fall in love with him because he was an intelligent man, which is a trope that I have a problem with in the show in general. Donna wasn't that. She never fell in love with him. She never cared. She just wanted to go on an adventure, and I love that. Donna looks like a normal person. She acts like a normal person. She is hilarious. There are just so many great episodes with Donna. The end of season 4 obviously is incredible, though that's kind of all the companions. But also you've got episodes like Turn Left and Silence in the Library. There are just these great episodes that she becomes the heart and center of, and the way that she grows as a character is just beautiful. I love who she becomes, which is why the end of Donna's storyline breaks my heart to this day. I kind of can't think about it, so we should move on because I'm getting a little emotional right now. At number 2, we've got a combo. I'm combining Amy and Rory. I just couldn't separate these two in my mind and try to rank them, though. Okay, I'll be honest. If I was gonna rank them, I love Rory more than I love Amy. Rory, for a long time, was on my list of favorite male characters in fiction, so that just goes to show how much I love Rory Williams. But I love the team of Amy and Rory and the Doctor in the TARDIS. That was such a great moment. I love season 6. I love season 5, but I really love season 6 where they all get to just work together, and that has so many incredible episodes. Amy has to be up this high, absolutely, because she's in a couple of my favorite episodes, namely Vincent and the Doctor, which is my favorite Doctor Who episode of all time. But you also have moments like the intro to season 6, that two-parter, which is amazing. You have When a Good Man Goes to War with Rory, which makes Amy and Rory's love for one another is just fantastic, and it's always a testament to how well written a relationship is. If you can get me to really be invested in a straight ship, like, it's pretty difficult to do that, but Amy and Rory are one of my favorite couples because I love the relationship that they have, and I love that as it goes on, it becomes less and less questionable that the only people that these two care about the most is one another. It's why, even though Angels Take Manhattan, though it logically doesn't make that much sense, it's still such a great episode. It's all because of their relationship with each other and the way that River works off of them and the way that Matt Smith grew to work off all of those different people and become a wonderful doctor. I love Matt Smith, and it was really hard to get used to him, but he became a person who rivaled the 10th Doctor to me, and I think it is because of how great it was when he could work off Rory and Amy. So yeah, 100,000 really, really good things about Amy and Rory. I adore them. They are my second favorite, and I could not possibly separate them, just like the show couldn't possibly separate them. So coming in at number 1, I feel like you might have guessed this way back at the beginning of this video. It's just so easy to guess this with me, but my favorite companion is, and always will be, Rose Tyler. First of all, she was my very first companion. That's such a huge thing. Rose was my very first, just like the 9th Doctor was my first Doctor. Rose was the reason that even though the first season is sort of a campy, weird mess at times, I love it, but I would describe it as that. She is the reason why I stuck to it and why I wanted to watch episode after episode and why I wound up binging the entire show. When I say binging the entire show, 6 seasons had been on at the point when I finally watched it. But the really slow relationship that you get to see that develops between the Doctor and Rose is one of my favorite as far as relationships in television. It makes me so sad to imagine people who haven't watched that first season with the 9th Doctor because I think you miss so much of her development, especially in regards to him, and it makes season 2 so much stronger. Season 2 is my favorite of all of the seasons because of the growth of the relationship between Ten and Rose. I think the only thing in this world that has ever made me cry harder than Doomsday was an episode of Buffy. Other than that, Doomsday takes the cake for hardest I've cried. A lot of people for some reason get annoyed with Rose because they think that she's stupid or that she doesn't know that much, but I think that that's the point and that's the development that you see with her, is that by the time you get to the end of her arc, she has grown so much, she has learned so much, and she's become a different person, but she's still that girl that ran away with the Doctor. Whenever I talk about Rose, I feel like I just end up spewing nonsense because there are so many things I want to say about her and why I love her, but she's just always going to be the number 1 for me, and I adore her, and I love her and the Doctor. I love her and 10 especially, but her and 9. I love her relationship with Jack and with Mickey and with everybody. I love her relationship with her mother. Rose is one of my favorite female characters of all time, so it is no shock that she tops my list. Okay guys, there you go. That is my ranking of the new Who, Doctor Who companions. If you disagree with who I decided to count as a companion and who I decided to leave out, please let me know in the comments below. I had a long conversation with a bunch of people on Twitter as to who they counted and who they didn't. Some people counted Wilf, some didn't. Some people counted Craig, some didn't. Some people would count anyone that got invited to the TARDIS, which is just like an obscene number of people, and I couldn't even contemplate ranking people who'd had like 1 episode but got invited to travel. So who do you think counts as a companion? Does Mickey count? Does Jack count? Does River count? Let me know in the comments below. How do you rank the Doctor Who companions that you count as companions? And let me know if you enjoyed this Doctor Who video and if you would like to see more fandom videos in the future. I would enjoy to do them. I can do more ranked videos, I can do more discussion videos. Let me know what you thought. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!